Welcome to the Rewards Master. Today, I'm going to share with you my, quote, official points value list from the airlines that I think provide the very best redemption values in business and first class in the credit card hobby. So if this is interesting to you, I hope you'll hit the like and subscribe button, and let's dive into it together. Point redemption values are kind of interesting in this hobby because there are some great companies that put out what they call reasonable redemption values. The Points guy is kind of well known for this. You can see it on Award Wallet. These companies provide a valuable service because when they look at what they call reasonable redemption values, they examine first class, business class, and economy class. They examine domestic travel and international travel, and they kind of average all of that together to come up with what they call a reasonable redemption value, which is helpful to a lot of people who use their points in a lot of different ways. However, if you only use your points for a certain type of redemption, either domestic or international, and especially in a certain class of service, like economy class or business class or first class, then it's going to change the numbers dramatically. For instance, if you only fly economy class domestically, then those point values are not going to be exactly accurate because your point values will probably be lower than what they publish. But if you only use your points for business and first class, especially with international travel, then the points values that they publish are going to skew much lower than what you actually could get in your redemptions. And that's what we generally focus on at the Rewards Master here on this channel, is those business and first class redemptions getting outsized value. So I want to talk about these point values that I've come up with, and first of all, how I arrived at these. What I did is I took the 8 best programs that I prefer, and most of these are programs that can be transferred from at least one or more of the transferable currencies: American Express, Chase, Capital One, Citi, and I also have Bilt. And so these all can be transferred from one of those, and they have great value to me. So I kind of call them the Extreme 8 because their values are extremely better than what I can find with a lot of other programs. Now, I could have missed some. Things like ANA are not on here. Things like Cathay Pacific. I just haven't used those a lot. I don't find a lot of use cases or a lot of availability with them. So this Extreme 8 that I put together are the ones that to me have the most value. And that dictates what I think my transferable points are worth. So if I look at American Express and I say, how much are American Express points worth? All I'm going to do is I'm going to look at who they transfer to. I'm going to look on this list that I've compiled, and I'm going to determine, well, they're worth a value equal to the highest value of any of their transfer partners. So that's how I determine what transferable points are worth to me. Now, how I came up with this is I looked out about 6 to 8 months, and I did random redemptions from the United States to Europe, to Africa, to Asia, and to South America. And I made sure that in each one of them there was a random selection, and I did it random. So I looked at what day, and I looked at what month, and I looked at what destination, and I completely determined that by chance so that I wasn't skewing these numbers one way or another. Now, is it perfect? I absolutely know that it is not, because I could have gotten lucky and hit a good day, or maybe on some of these they're worth a little bit more because I didn't hit a good day in that particular month. But I do think it gives a little bit of a guide and tells me a little bit about what these points are worth to me or to other people like me who are trying to use their points for maximum value to get that extreme great experience going overseas and flying in business or first class. And so this is kind of what I came up with as I looked at these Extreme 8 transfer partners. Now on the chart that I put together, I include my Rewards Master values for each of these programs. I also include the point guys evaluation of what these points are worth. And I include Award Wallet because the Award Wallet actually gives what they say business class redemptions are valued at in each of these different airline programs. So you can use this chart, you can compare it. Hopefully it's helpful to you, but I just compiled it for myself more than anything. But I thought, well, I think there are other people in my stage of life, in my circumstance, that just want to use their points for outsized value. Now, at the bottom of the list, number 8 is United Airlines. And United Airlines, according to the points guy, are only worth 1.35 cents a piece. And if you've ever tried to make domestic economy redemptions on United, that's probably pretty accurate. I mean, sometimes you even get less than that. Therefore, they come up with that average. But Award Wallet says that they're worth 3.17 cents a piece for business class travel. For me, it didn't come out quite that good. When I did this and looked across several months in different locations, different times, randomly, I came up with 3.1 cents per point in value. Now, I have used their points for great value. We've flown on Polaris through United Points, and that was a great experience, and I thought was a really, really good value. You can get like 80,000 point, sometimes 88,000 point redemptions to Europe. And so that's not bad. It's not great, but that's what United Points are worth to me, 3.1 cents a piece. They are a transfer partner. However, I only will do it if I have a great redemption lined up because both Bilt and Chase have much, much better transfer options. So United can be good. Now, where I do rack up a lot of United Points is through the Mileage Plus X app. I've done videos on that. I'll do more again. I think it's great because there are so many chain restaurants you can use the app for and get an additional 2, 3, 4, 5 points per dollar on top of your credit card rewards. So I do rack up a lot of United Points, but mostly through the Mileage Plus X app, not usually through credit card spend or with transferable points. Number 7 on my list is Avianca. Now, Avianca has a lot of flights to Central and South America, and they're in the Star Alliance. They are transfer partners with quite a few of the big banks, so you have several options, and they offer a lot of transfer bonuses, which even makes any of these programs more valuable if you get a transfer bonus. I didn't factor that in. I didn't know how to figure that. So Avianca can be very, very valuable. It does have a quirky web page, and that's a little tough. I've only done one redemption with them, but it went fairly smooth after I figured it out. So you got to tinker with it a little bit. Now, when it comes to point values, the points guy says that Avianca points are worth 1.4 cents a piece. So you got to remember that's factoring in economy tickets bought on United and things like that. But I don't use them that way. So closer to my evaluation is Award Wallet for their business class redemptions, and they say that Avianca is worth 3.93 cents a piece. But when I did my random calculations over several months, Avianca points came out to a value for me of 4.4 cents a piece, which is really, really a good redemption value. Number 6 on my list of this extreme 8 is Air France KLM. Now, their value isn't that great with the points guy. It's 1.3 cents a piece. And with Award Wallet, when it comes to business class, they say it's only worth 2.6 cents a piece. But when I did my evaluation over several months, randomly, I came up with a point value of 4.5 cents a piece. Now, Air France is quite awesome because Air France, you can transfer from almost all of the transferable currencies, and there are almost constantly some kind of transfer bonus to give you even more points, 20%, 30%, 25%, something like that. So that makes them even more valuable. Now, I did notice that I had to pick and choose and look around quite a bit to find great redemptions, but those great redemptions, especially Europe, those redemptions were there. So came out to 4.5 cents a piece. That is a very, very solid transfer partner and program for me. Number 5. Now, this one may surprise some folks that it's not higher on the list, but when I did my evaluation, I was a little surprised as well. And number 5 is Air Canada Aeroplan. Now, these are very valuable points. They have a lot of ability to transfer. I mean, you can transfer from Chase, you can transfer from Capital One, American Express. So there's a lot of options. They don't have quite as many bonuses going on, maybe one a year, but still, the program has lots and lots of availability, which is really, really valuable. I didn't know how to factor it into all this, but that kind of makes it an even more appealing program. And the points guys say they're worth 1.4 cents a piece, Award Wallet 2.63 cents a piece for business and first class travel. However, when I ran the numbers, it just edged out Air France at a solid 4.6 cents a piece. Now, Aeroplan is great because the website works great. There's just a lot of benefits to using the program, tons of availability, and lots of options to transfer points. And they even have a pretty decent credit card that lets you kind of pay yourself back for travel and some things like that. So this is a really solid program coming in at number 5 on my list of the Extreme 8. Number 4 kind of surprised me, because I expected it to be on this list, but I expected it to be a little lower, maybe 7 or 8. But it's British Airways. Now, British Airways is a part of the Avios group that includes some other airlines like Finnair and Qatar and some of those. And so those points can be moved back and forth, which gives it a lot of availability because you can search on all of those airlines and just move your points back and forth to wherever you want them to be. We've used this before. We've flown on BA in business class, and it was an okay experience, but I understand their new business class is a little better. But when it comes to the values that I came up with, in comparing it with the points guy, he says they're worth 1.4, and Award Wallet says that for business class travel, it's worth 3.31. Well, it came in quite a bit higher than that in my evaluation at an amazing 5.3 cents per point. Now remember, on all of these, some of this is skewed by the fact that some of them just charge a lot of money to fly their product. You know, if you have one airline that charges $2,600 for a one-way business class ticket and charges the same amount of points as another program that charges $10,400 on a one-way business class ticket, naturally the points are going to be more valuable with the program that charges more money. However, some would say, well, what it's really worth to you? Well, you know, if I go, I wouldn't buy a Lamborghini no matter how much money I had, but they are worth $300,000, even though I would never buy one. So the value is not determined, at least in my estimation, and others will disagree, and that's okay. But in my estimation, the value is not determined by what I would buy or what I wouldn't buy. It's what someone will pay for it and what it's worth. So that's just kind of my own defense of coming up with point values based upon what they charge, because somebody is paying it. And so therefore, that's the market rate or the market value of that product. Now, the next two on this list were really surprising because I thought they'd be number 1 and number 2. I was frankly blown away by what beat them. But number 3 is one of my favorites in the world, and I rack up lots and lots of these because I fly this airline domestically all the time. Number 3 on the list of the Extreme 8 is American Airlines. And American, their points are hard to acquire. They don't have any point currencies that transfer over to them right now, but you can rack up a lot of points through their shopping portal and through, I use their hotel program all the time, amazing amount of points and loyalty points through that, and also through their credit cards and through flying on the airline. Now, the points guy says that American Airlines points are worth 1.65 cents a piece, and Award Wallet doesn't have a redemption value for American Airlines. So that was kind of disappointing, but it didn't really change my own evaluations. So when I did my random experiment for the next several months for American Airlines, I came up with an amazing value of 6.2 cents per point for American Airlines miles. So I use them all the time. They're really, really good for last minute redemption. I've seen that American, you can even get domestic for like 3 cents a point, which is really good. But man, if you are willing to book something else, be willing to cancel it, and then look maybe a week out or 2 weeks out, you can get some crazy good values with American miles. Number 2 on the list, and like I said, this surprised me because I thought they'd be number 1, is Alaska Airlines and their miles program. So Alaska only has one currency that transfers over to them, and that's Bilt rewards. And that to me makes the Bilt credit card very valuable, and especially for that dining category of 3X and 6X on rent day. But Alaska points, they are so valuable because they have a static award chart for partners. And so when I did my research, I found that the points guy said that they're worth 1.5 cents a piece. But Award Wallet, they said for business and first class, 4.19 cents a piece, which is really in and of itself a great value. But when I ran the numbers through my random experiment over the next several months, I came up with a point value of 7.1 cents per mile. That is just off the charts for me. So I have been moving over American Express points through the Hawaiian loophole in mass quantities because I want to have them when that goes away on June 30th. Which leads us to the number 1 program of my Extreme 8 list of great airline programs. And that is, and I was surprised, I thought it'd be on the list, but towards the bottom. But no, when I ran the numbers, it's Virgin Atlantic. Virgin Atlantic, they have some redemptions that aren't very good. Sometimes you can't find great award availability and all of that. But just this random, and maybe it's because I hit the right days, I don't know. But it came out just incredible. I mean, they blew everybody else away. Now, the points guy says they're worth 1.4 cents a piece. But for business class travel, Award Wallet says they're worth 5.88 cents a piece by their estimation. But my numbers just absolutely blew my mind. When I did this same exact way that I did all the other programs, just random dates, random location, different continents from the United States, I came out with a value of 15.9 cents per point. And it was like, blew my mind. And that's especially valuable because they're basically a partner with every major currency. You can transfer from almost anybody to Virgin, and they do transfer bonuses all the time. So it's really got a greater value than that. Now remember, on all of these, this is especially true on that Virgin, you're only going to get these values if you pick and choose the really great redemptions. So you're not going to get it when you have to be somewhere at a specific time or leave on a specific date. Don't expect these. These are for folks like myself who have the ability to choose when they travel and to choose where they travel, who are flexible about their time and flexible about their location. But if you fit into that, then I think these point values, they may not be exactly spot on accurate, but I think they're pretty close for this strategy of travel. Now, remember, part of the reason some are valued so high, Virgin are valued high because Virgin charges a lot of money for their flights, but that's what people are willing to pay. So to me, that's what they're worth. Now, I know some of you are going to disagree with this list strongly. You're going to think some of this is crazy. That's all right. I mean, everybody's got their own way of doing it and finding their own value in this game. I'd love to hear your comments down below, what you think of this. I hope this chart is helpful to you, even if you don't use my valuations. Maybe it'll help you with the point guy valuations or Award Wallet. But whatever it is, just go forth and use your points. Get great value for you that fits your travel style, your goals. And this is the greatest hobby in the world. And it has something for everybody if we just do a little research, have some self-discipline about cards and how to acquire them and how to use them. And it can pay off incredible benefits and fantastic trips with fantastic memories. So if you would consider the channel membership, $2.99 a month. When it comes to these kind of redemptions, I do special videos for are members only that talk about different locations, and I let the members through polls choose where to go, when to go, and then I compile some great redemptions. So that might be of interest to you. It's $2.99 a month. It doesn't cost anything to cancel. You're not committed to anything. You can join and then change your mind later. But if you'd like to look into that, I have a link down in the description below. And if you would, please like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you here next time.